Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Kiki. Happy to see you guys. Let me know if the music is up too loud. I always feel like it's up too loud and then I turn it down way too low and then you can't hear it at all. So, we'll see. Oh, see what I mean? Up way too loud. You guys will have to let me know. Hopefully you can hear me. Jenny, no problem if you have to leave soon. Happy to have you. My voice is a little bit better than it was yesterday, but I still sound like terrible. Hi, Evan. Sleepless Beauty, Sleepless Beauty. Hello, hello. I was trying to see if I knew your name. A little too loud? Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit more. How's that? A little bit better? It's been 50 years since I did a stream. Actually, I think it's been since October, because that was when the big giant depression monster came and took me out, like hardcore. It's been a rough couple months. Life has been kicking my butt, but luckily things are moving forward and upward. I figured today, awesome, good. I like that the sound sounds good. Hello, tambourine. So basically, if you don't know, most of you knew by now because I complain about it enough. I am in education and I am leaving education very, very soon. I'll be moving across the country kind of in the next couple of weeks and getting a new job. So things have been really hectic. Hi, Ashley. Okay, thank you. I was like, who are you? Who are you? Actually hearing your voice before I have to leave. Yes. Hello, hello. Okay. So today I was kind of thinking, just general updates, which I kind of have already run through. That was pretty much it, is that like teaching has just gotten increasingly hostile towards teachers and just toxic. It's just not a good place to be right now. And so I have decided essentially to move on. Yeah, the post-Halloween slump is real. Move on from teaching. I thought about it when I first left my first teaching gig. I was actually already looking for things outside of education, and then I ended up falling into another education role where I currently am. And I tried to stick it out for the full 5 years so that I could get benefits that they give you if you stay for 5 years, but you don't get them if you leave early. So I'm leaving early, cutting my losses, because it's untenable. I really, I've had a kid throw his desk at me this year. I had a kid say some really gross stuff to me, and then nothing happened. And that's the real big issue, is that just there's no consequences anymore. I'm not saying that they need to go to jail, but there needs to be some kind of follow through. And unfortunately, with the way that the education system is in the US right now, it's fucking non-existent. Okay. Most teachers I have found are either just I just need to bide my time and get my retirement, or they're also cutting their losses and getting out. So it's not just a me thing. It's not just a my area thing. It's a pretty across the spectrum education issue. And if you've ever heard my rants about my conspiracy theories, which are less conspiracy and probably a little more reality, about that, it makes a lot of sense. It's like a big giant 3-pronged attack from multiple angles, and it's gutted the education system to the point that it is just pointless and useless. It's just bad. Straight to jail. Straight to child jail for you. No, just get them the help that they need so that they will be better humans, please. And unfortunately, a lot of that has fallen on just standard educators, and that's not our job. Our job is not to parent your children. You have to do a little bit of the work too. We're supposed to teach them about life skills and academia not necessarily like be kind and respectful, although that's definitely an aspect of it. We reinforce that, but that should be also, taught at home. So yeah, leaving education, I'm moving into something better. It's taken a while just because of some personal stuff that's been going on. But hopefully I will be rolling into that hopefully at the start of March. And then once I kind of get all of those irons wrinkled out. Um, irons wrinkled. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I am on antibiotics right now because I'm actually pretty sick. So if I don't make sense, that's why. Um, but yeah, so once that kind of smooths out and I'm a little more stable after I get started, there, I should hopefully be able to start doing more live streams and get back into like audio recording chapters, because I would really like to actually post the links to chapter 5 to my blog, because I haven't done that even though all of them are done. And then actually like move on and do like chapter 6 through whatever I said that I would do. I guess eventually all of them would be nice, but bye, Jenny. Listen, there's a few kids that I would happily mom. And then there's a few kids that I'm like, no, I don't ever want to see you again, and I won't regret leaving you behind. Which sucks. Like, I don't ever want that to be the feeling. And that's the other part of like getting out of education, is that like I used to be so patient and like I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and now I think every single one of them is a little liar. And like that's not the way you want to think about kids. That's not healthy. It's not a good environment for them. It's not a good environment for me. So yeah, I'm just doing the smart thing, getting out when it makes sense. And I'm about to hit what my mom likes to call my prime earning years. And I would actually like to make money and not live paycheck to paycheck. That would be great. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully kind of by like mid-March I should have a little more stability, and yeah, so fingers crossed. So those are the updates. That's what's going on. That's why I've been like semi MIA. Like I'm still online obviously, but because I'm a terrible online addict just like the rest of us. But I haven't been doing the things that I said I would do with my patrons, my service tops, and my power bottoms, and they deserve, they've been giving me money, so you guys deserve explanations for things. I don't want to just be a James Somerton, as it were. Okay. Any questions? Like, I'm down with questions if you have questions. I won't necessarily answer everything, but like if you're like, where are you moving? I won't tell you that. I'm at least a little bit self-conscious and we're not self-conscious, conscious of, internet safety. Well, though self-conscious too, I suppose. Cousin was a teacher. We had to live with her at 12. She never believed a damn thing I said, and it was annoying because your girl can't lie to save. Yeah, no, that's true. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are kids where I'm like, you can't lie your way out of a shoebox, let alone to my face. But that's the other thing, is that they will lie regardless. Like, you'll catch them in the act and then they'll be like, no, I wasn't. What? No. And I'm like, I saw you with my own 2 eyes. Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, and I don't want to group all kids in the same category, because every kid is different, just like every human is different, and experiences sort of, shape who they are. I can't say what's going on at home for every single kid. So, it's just not fair to them. So I'm getting out because it isn't fair to them, and it's not fair to me either. So I just feel like it's the right moral thing to do. And B, I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. Yeah. So technically, Evan, so you got the job party. Yes and no. I have the offer. There's another hoop I have to jump through, but hopefully by like Wednesday of this week, I should have confirmation. and then be moving on. But regardless, luckily, I am in a position where even if it takes like an extra week or two, once I get through the process of selling this home, I should have a little bit of extra change if I need it to kind of hold down the fort until I do actually establish myself and start that new gig. So I was a good child. Don't know what happened. If you hear me drinking, it's because I got some coffee and water. And if I have to stop and hack, I am so sorry. I have ickiness in me. It's definitely strep throat. I had the little white patches at the back of my throat, and then I did urgent care telehealth, and they were like, okay, feel your neck. Are you tender? And I was like, oh, now that you mention it, yeah, my whole neck and all of my lymph nodes really hurt. And then they're like, yeah, okay. So I was like, it can't be. Surely it's not. And then, of course, the confirmation comes. So, all right. Oh, my mouse turned off again. It always does that when I'm like too idle with it. I got a brand new disco mouse for Christmas. I love it. And it's wireless, but it turns off from time to time. So, okay. Enough about me. Let's stop talking about me, please. And let's jump down to the new update. So I did a little bit, I've been doing smaller updates, little bite-sized chunks in the last couple months, again, just because I've been honestly just too tired to really like put in the patience. Sorry, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Actually, I'll just turn it down on my system. By the way, if you want the groovy chill vibes we're jamming out to while we are talking, that is linked in the description below, along with my Patreon, along with my Tumblr, and of course the link to this lovely little lady right here. So yeah, I've been doing smaller updates. They've been anywhere from like 2K to like a little above 3K. Usually I used to aim for like 4 to 5, but yeah, I just haven't had it in me. And it's honestly, I never publish a chapter where I don't think the break is like a good break, like it's a good cliffhanger or like a nice little kind of rounded out moment of like a momentary closure. I'm not going to just like put a half-written chapter out. Admittedly, I probably could have combined like 56-ish. No, not 56. Like 57, 58. I probably could have combined those two. But I don't know. It was fun to leave you guys off with like, woohoo! Little cliffhangers where Harry's getting attacked and all that. And then, of course, Voldemort's perspective on it and that. And then, of course, this chapter, which was a little bit longer, which I was happy with, where it's kind of the little aftermath of it. And we've got Antonio finally getting his comeuppance. It was very funny. I watched all 4 John Wick movies with my tuna fish, my friend. Not an actual tuna fish. You guys, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They will occasionally pop in and say hello. But I was watching John Wick, and it was just like, oh, I kind of took inspiration from this character, didn't I? It was like multiple villains in John Wick were inspired, were helpful inspiration for Antonio Soldarini. So, yes, we're actually going to probably get a little bit more of his perspective soonish. We'll talk more about what I plan for the next chapter in a hot minute, but it's probably going to start off Harry and then potentially halfway switch through to V. We'll see. Many kisses for the tuna fish. Yes. I love having you guys here. This is so nice. I need to do this more often because I always like stress myself out about it. Like, it needs to be interesting. I have to have them be interested in what I'm saying and talk well and not make a bunch of weird ambient noises like drinking and coughing. But who cares? Like, I should just do it, to just do it. I'll get better at it over time, things like that. So, many kisses to Tuna. Speaking of Tuna and John Wick, I wish I had it, but I lost it somehow. I created like a mock slideshow where I intended to essentially create a John Wick slideshow where I take basically every character he interacts with and I let you know whether or not he has smashed them, or if they desperately wish that he would smash them, but he hasn't, or if they're just platonic. So, like, for instance, Lance Riddick's character, the concierge, he is obviously in a relationship with Blackbeard. I don't know why I call him Blackbeard. He's not Blackbeard. Winston. There we go. And I had this whole little slideshow, like I had a draft of it and all I needed to do was like add like proper details and like pictures, and I lost it. I don't know where it went. So I'll try and find that and maybe make a little video on it because it was just silly, fun, bananas nonsense. But thank you. I'm glad no one cares. I'm actually going to blow my nose real quick. I'm sorry. Ugh, I hate being sick. It's the worst. Okay, so chapter 60 was the most recent update. I was feeling really sad this week. I like really sad every week, ever since, I don't know, I was born. But no, that's an over-exaggeration. It's just been very hectic, and so the highs are really high and the lows are really low right now. And so I was just having a little bit of a rough week, and I had watched like a Technoblade animation dedication. And if you know anything about me, you know that I adore Techno, and I miss him terribly. And he was just a force upon the internet. And instead of like letting myself wallow in like, oh, I miss Techno sad feelings, I was like, you know what? He would want me to do something. And so I finished the chapter and I posted it. So I'm really glad that I did that. And as it says here in the notes, don't get too excited because they do get a little frisky. But I didn't want you to think that they were going to go all the way. So that's why I put that little note there at the top, because I was just like, hold up, just halt, temper your expectations. But yeah. I don't know. Do we want to do a read through? Do you want me to read it through? Or do we want to just like kind of talk about some of the highlighted, some of the big lines? For instance, the My Dark Lord. I love that. I'm so glad I gave in to my own instincts and was like, yes, go for it. I'm going to pause because I know that I'm always way ahead of the chat. I'm going to just give it a second. I'm also going to mute myself for just a second to, like, again, hack up a lung so that you guys don't have to hear that. Okay. When it fits, it sits. Squealed a lot through the chapter. I mean, to be fair, it's a killer fucking chapter. Like, I'm very proud of this one. Like, I'm always proud of the chapters because I work hard on them. But, like, this one in particular, I was like, oh, it's the perfect balance. It's exactly, like, the direction I want them moving in. And, yeah. False advertising? Oh, when it fits, it sits. All right. So I guess we'll just go through and kind of look at some of the lines, because unfortunately, I don't know if I can I even do the Voldemort voice with my throat the way that it is? Hold on. Let me see. No, I can't. I can't bring myself to do it. But yeah, so this is post Greyback. Obviously, he like cut into Harry's side terribly. And like nearly down to bone. And at one point, I remember Jenny like freaking out, like, "Oh my God, get him some medical help." And it's like, eventually, but you got to understand, this is a wound that needs like time away from chaos so that they can actually sit down and heal it. So, thank you, Evan. I'm sure that my voice will be gone by the end of this, which is fine. I don't have any. I took tomorrow off because I have all of this crazy stuff I gotta do anyway. So, preemptive taking day off my last week, so that'll be fun. Hey, little hearts. I'm gonna send some hearts too. Oh, never mind. It won't let me. Never mind. Ah, no. Oh gosh. I've screwed myself. I've lost the chat. There we go. All right, it's back. I screwed myself. Okay, so yeah. So they get there and they land, and somebody in the comments, brilliant. Yeah, literally I had like 1.5 days left, and I was like, I'm not gonna like make any money off of those. They don't give you money for that when you leave, so I might as well use it. So I did. Ugh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so somebody called it out in the comments, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's the townhouse flat that he said he stole from, that he has in France." And I was like, "Yep, it's the one he stole from the Malfoys." So that's exciting and fun. And I think, Kiki, you sent me an ask, and you were like, "What is this based off of? Like, is it based off of anything?" And actually, yes. Hold on, wait. Actually, I can pull that up in just a second. Maybe. Hold on. I'm gonna send it to myself. All the little hearts. Draco crying in the background, absolutely. And love, yeah, the duplex, that's what it was. It was just this pretty, like, fancy luxury apartment or whatever. I would pull it up on Tumblr, but then I had to actually log into my Tumblr on Google Chrome again, and I've been logged out for, I don't know, 6 months. I only use it on my phone these days. Let me see. I sent myself an email with it in it. I was like, I need to keep this. Of course, I have a gazillion emails right now because I'm in the process of both selling my home and buying a new one, which means that there's just a gazillion. Okay, I can't find it right now. It's on my Tumblr. I'll post it in the dmay Discord if I find it again. But it was super pretty. Yeah. This is specifically, like, I specifically put them here for like an ending bit that we'll get to eventually. By here, I mean the villa in France that they stole from the Malfoys. Not villa, the townhouse. It's like an apartment, whatever. Put them here so that they could have a little escape route that I'm excited for, that I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get to. If you don't know, the Malfoys secretly have a similar interest that the Weasleys have in terms of flying cars. It's just that their flying car is a little nicer. So I'm excited for that. We'll get to that eventually. But yeah, so focus. Let me just make sure that my mommy isn't texting me again because she's asking me questions. All right, we're good. So Harry's bleeding out, and they need to get him healed. They have arrived at their sort of safe house, essentially. And Harry is a little out of it, obviously. So he's like, "Set the Eiffel Tower." So sarcasm. Like he's just a goner, poor little baby. And then Voldemort is like totally anxious here. Like, what I love about it is his anxiety does not appear the way that general people's anxiety appear. I think I know people like this, and so that's kind of what I based it on. Is that instead of like losing their minds the way that I do, they just become extremely focused and like on the borderline of like really pissed off. So he's extremely anxious right here, even if it isn't necessarily clear. Although I try to like give little hints of that with like the stuff where I talk about his magic, like the rest of him rushes over Harry like static, because he, like, the bond feels like static right now because Voldemort's anxious, and that's kind of what anxiety has always sort of felt like. You know, it's like this never-ending feeling of like prickling and ugh. Evan. Oh, I do that. Yeah, I know quite a few people who do that, and it's the best, honestly, like when you can compartmentalize like that, where you're like, okay, let's take care of the problem, and then we'll freak out about it later. I kind of do that sometimes now that I'm older, but usually I have to cry first. Like, I have to, like, I'm a crier when I'm angry, and I hate it. Ugh. Very angry and super worried and very focused. Yes. Okay. So they get in. He's like using wandless magic, which is always hot. And then somebody else, I think it was Kid Scrappy, my beloved commenter. I love Kid Scrappy. Who was like, Harry kind of feeling joy at feeling Voldemort's wandless magic. And I was like, yeah, it's like, it's not, he doesn't feel Voldemort's magic and become fearful or anxious or like at the ready anymore, although the at the ready part is definitely part of it. But he like almost takes comfort in it now, honestly. So I'm a crier too. It's the worst. Yeah, it is. Ashley and Jasmine, I'm here right there with you. I'm a crier when I'm angry, but I'm angry when I'm worried. Not the same angry though. That's fair. Human emotions are weird. And trying to describe two different human emotions over the same situation is always a fun little puzzle to kind of do. Yeah, so he's very like succinct. He's like, give me what I need. At the ready to do what? Exactly. So yeah, so he's very like, he's focused, right? He's like, okay, I need to heal this idiot person that I adore and I'm very worried about. And is quickly climbing the ranks and things of, you know, level of importance. Honestly, I feel like Voldemort is already subconsciously at Harry is more important than even myself, but he hasn't necessarily come to that full realization consciously. He will, he just hasn't gotten there fully yet. Even though like his actions obviously are speaking louder than his words here. Or his own personal realization. Same with like the, you know, the intimacy that we get to later in this chapter, where like they are clearly devoted and in love with each other, but neither of them, like Voldemort doesn't know that this is what love is. Obviously, he's never had a name, like he's never put a name to it that in that regard. And then Harry is just in denial, even to himself. So yes, I love that their communication is so, like, this is the dream. Like, you can say, like, a couple words, and then, like, they just get it. And same with, like, we'll get to it when he, like, they're making out, and then he gets hurt, and then Voldemort's like, you're making this decision for the wrong reasons, and I'm not going to go down that path, because I want you to not have any chance to, like, later on regret this, because... yeah, and not because he's like, oh, it would hurt me, but because he wants the satisfaction of Harry coming to him fully and like ready, you know. So that's a fun little thing. So I loved writing this little scene. I love that there you are. I don't know. I just think that that's nobody caught that little, like nobody pointed this bit out, but that I just love when their eyes lock and you know he's like, yep, there you are. Harry's running the second bee gives him the simp smile. Yeah, something like that. So the healing, of course, a couple of people have commented that they really like how I have used the word visceral in my responses. They didn't, but that's what it is. It's like it is magic. Obviously, it works quickly, but the sort of body horror aspect, which is again I think a kid scrappy line, the body horror aspect of magical healing, I don't think it gets touched on too much. Like I think in Chamber of Secrets too, you kind of get a little of it where his bones disappear, but I think it would just be a lot worse. Like literally you are instantaneously healing your body and you can see it happen and you can feel it happen. But yeah. I did. I was just so tired I forgot to talk about it. There you are in the constant. It is, but it also is just like, you know, it's sweet. No, Kid Scrappy asked that too. I keep bringing up Kid Scrappy because Kid Scrappy leaves me very long comments, so I spend a lot of time on them. No, Kiki, he's not going to have any like werewolf tendencies. I didn't want that. He's just going to be hairy as per usual. Maybe in some other AU I would do that, but no. But no, I loved like the eroticism of the healing. So like this little bit, like I have like a full-on body ripping scene basically, but you know, it's bloody and graphic and gory. And then I love this bit where Harry arches, biting back his own shout. Voldemort's other hand lands at the center of his chest and forces him back down onto the counter, fingers splayed, and Harry feels the breath leave him as he gasps, shivering in place and grabbing blindly at Voldemort's wrist and the edge of the marble. Like, if you take out the context, if you just take out that little bit, you're like, hey, wait a second, what's going on here? Thanks, Jasmine. Hey, that you trust my writing chops. And no, I totally get that. Werewolf fics are good. It's just I have werewolf fics. I'm good. I don't need to add that to this. Harry werewolf bottom Harry wearing the weary at the world until Twink Kong comes swaying by. Now, if you wanted to get on to my silly little AU that I was talking about in the dmay server, where Harry is like living his own life in like Montana somewhere, and then like Twink Voldemort shows up and is like, oh my god, look at this very bearded man. We will maybe we'll get some werewolf Harry in that one, but we'll see. Yeah, I remember that, but I also looked it up and I was like, it's like claw marks for me, like it doesn't make sense that claw marks would transfer any sort of werewolfism unless he was like licking his fingers first, you know, like it has to be like a saliva to blood contact. So like it doesn't for me, it doesn't check out, so I'm not going to use it. That's my answer to that, Kiki. The delay on the chat is killing you. Sorry, Evan. Well, probably a little bit of both, Kiki. I need my hands rubbing together emoji. There's so many ideas in my head, and this, of course, takes priority because I just want to finish it. You know, part of me is just like, just get it done. And then the other part is like, oh, it's so fun. It's always the case. But yeah, so like this visceral sort of healing, this hissing, steaming, pouring of the wound. Like, yeah, I just really love that. Yeah, Kiki, the bite is the only thing that makes sense to me. So claw marks, no. 100% Steve Fenrir licking his fingers. Yeah, probably, Ashley, but we're not gonna. No, I don't want it. I just want Harry being Harry. And then the aftermath where he's like kind of shaking. And then, of course, I loved, so I had him like removing the cork vials with his teeth, but I had to insert my little glove kink in here. That's why I had him wear the like half gloves in the first place, was just so that I could later have him remove them with his teeth. And so I have him removing one of his gloves with his teeth because I can't help myself. Self-indulgence is the key to good writing, for me at least. And then the sort of, I shared this snippet, of course, preemptively before I finished the chapter. Are you seriously checking me out right now? Harry asks, half aghast and half what he can only admit is aroused. Voldemort doesn't even seem abashed, but his eyes do draw back up to Harry's own. Yes. So I love them. Because it's just like so quintessential. Like, A, Harry calling him out for it, and B, Voldemort not even caring. Like, he's just like, yeah, dude, of course. Yeah, like, you're half naked in front of me and you're covered in blood. Of course I'm going to check you out. Like, what is this question even really? So, yeah, just love it. And then I did love this as well. And I added this sort of like, he knows or he thinks he knows. He knows or he thinks he knows, because again, there's this idea of this impulsiveness because of the adrenaline. And that's just a common Harry trope, I think. Like, that's just integral to his character. He is very much an adrenaline junkie. He chases danger. Like, it's just part of his character. And this idea that it bleeds into sort of the sexual aspect, it's just like one turn to the right and you're like, yep, okay, that makes sense, that checks out. And so having him in this mode of like, I just survived something crazy, this, very dangerous man that wanted to kill me but no longer wants to, is the one that's saving me. And so there's like a lot going on up in his brain. Obviously, I just don't necessarily spell it all out, because I think that you guys can read between the lines and you don't need me to spell it all out. And so having this moment of where Voldemort is looking at him like he wants to eat him, and him being like, he thinks he knows that he wants to be devoured. Like, he thinks maybe in this moment he could be ready for that. But in reality, obviously, it's just the adrenaline that's kind of giving him this momentary lapse of judgment, or at least I guess this momentary freedom of his other moral values, which would then come and bite him in the butt if they actually proceeded beyond what they proceed to do. So if you're a 14-year-old writer who doesn't know what sex is, wait, hold on. Wait, I don't know what I was talking about when you said that. Oh, saliva lube fix. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, no, I'm same. Naruto was just full of it. Like, that was the thing that they did there. Trauma bonding. Basically, that's exactly kind of what happens here. Is like, we survived something insane, although Voldemort didn't have a risk of dying, truly. But he is growing to realize that Harry seems to be awfully at risk of dying, and he puts himself in these positions quite often. So there's going to be a little bit of that as time goes on. And I love that, he just sticks his foot in his mouth the second that he can. He just has to start pushing buttons. And then this little bit right here, I love this. So Harry often feels their relationship is one of constant push and pull, which I've said before. I've used just kind of a similar line in the past with them, which is, probably going to come up again and again. And same with this, of agreements and promises and hidden fine print details, of dares constantly met and matched. Dare you, Harry thinks, and then they're both moving, which I just love. Like this, almost like they can read each other so well. They can't quite read each other's thoughts, although I do have an idea that maybe somewhere down the line they could share thoughts. So yeah, I just like hiccup. I may need to mute myself and hack up a lung again in just a second. But yeah. So I'm not going to spoil that, Jasmine. We haven't even returned to the Master of Death nonsense yet. Dumbledore's still talking to Grindelwald about what he should say. Yeah, that's probably where they do learn it from, BL. Yeah. Which is fair. Like, I mean, honestly, if you do have enough saliva, you can make it work. Like, just speaking from experience here. You just got to get enough. That's all. And you also just need to replenish because otherwise it dries out, and that's no fun. Anyway, sorry, a little TMI there. But yeah, then of course, not only do I have the push and pull right here, I then also actually physically reflect that, where they're like literally pushing and pulling at each other, like trying to get closer, which I just love. It is confirmed, but I'm not going to spoil like the stuff that comes of it. Like, it's not a guarantee that he's immortal just because he's the master of death. It just means that he has some extra weight and pull to his abilities surrounding things about death. So, yeah, master of death. Yes, he is. He has all 3 of the little trinkets. So we're good. And then of course they're just making out, desperate, all of that fun stuff. And then I loved bringing this back around. The competence is extremely important. That was a line that he had, if you don't remember, it was a line that Voldemort said about Narcissa when they were going to like get the invitations to the banquet. And so again, I just like to loop things back around, like things that they're constantly thinking about, conversations that they've had, because I don't know, that's what humans do. We like to make connections and form patterns and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, loved that. And then of course this, which I don't remember who it was, but somebody was just like, oh my god, that one word. Does my competence excite you? Like, yes, of course it does. Of course the competence excites him, because Harry's competence excites Voldemort. So of course it's like a push-pull again. Like, yeah, I don't know. Loved it. Loved writing this little bit. And then I love Harry being aggressive and assertive when it comes to their sort of like sexual step forwards. So sexual steps forward. There we go. So him being the one to kind of push for the sort of desperate making out sesh of him licking into Voldemort's mouth, of him kind of taking charge. We love that power bottom. Yeah, so not to say that they aren't going to switch, because they definitely are going to be switching in this fic. And in fact, one of their first sexual instances will have power bottom Voldemort. So that'll be fun. But the point is that, yeah, like and of course the like Voldemort making noise. I love that somebody like complimented me on that way back when I first started doing that, where he would like groan or like grunt or like whatever, because it just makes me want him to make more noises. because he deserves to make noise, because it's Harry. It's his Harry that he genuinely wants this person. He's never had that before. So I don't know. I just like it. Yes, that is in fact very intentional. His very pretty face between his hands so he can kiss him again. Yes, I do. I had another comment where they're like, I hope, like, I don't remember what it was. It was something along the lines of, you know, I like that he's got the pretty face, but I hope that we get to see Snake Face Voldemort again. And I was like, yeah, duh. What about dmay makes you think that I'm not going to have him making out with Snake Face Voldemort? I had him look him in the face and say that he didn't mind the way that he looked way back before they first kissed. Like, of course, it's just got to take some build-up. Men, they do make noise. They make an awful lot of noise. So yeah, so they make out. There's a little bit of like gentle, light frottage, nothing too crazy. And then of course, hands end up where they're not supposed to be. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I suppose, cause the shock of pain that kind of brings them both to their senses. And I just love, they're making out, and Voldemort's like full on like out of breath, like he's just like, oh my god, I ran a marathon, made out with Harry, right? Of course, it's way cooler than that, but you know, in my brain, in my silly little crack brain. And then this, of course, I'm putting here so that he has the excuse to like hoard Harry for a little bit longer, all that fun stuff. because they're going to stay there for at least like a day or two, while Harry kind of heals up a little bit before they head back to like the real world, as it were. And then I just love all of this. All of this. This is just all of this. Like, it's so, like, it goes from urgency in terms of healing and like making sure that they're okay, and then urgency in terms of like hot and heavy make out session, and then it just like it immediately, like, there's like a like an undercut, and it's not in like a swoops your legs out from under you undercut. It's still along the same lines. There's still touching, there's still intimacy, but it softens, it gentles. And I was so into writing this scene, and how Voldemort is just like such a fucking selfish gentleman, because he's doing this for his own reasons. Again, like, he knows that if he pushes too far too fast, he then has to deal with the aftermath of Harry like hating himself for doing stuff, and he doesn't want that. He wants the pure, like, Harry picked me without tricks, like none of that, like that he's kind of set himself on this path, and little anal retentive boy, like, he cannot help himself but, you know, focus on that path, and that's, you know, sort of where he's going with that. The good stuff, yes, so good. And sort of the refrains that I have of trouble and danger, and the way that he thinks about Voldemort and sort of associates him with those things. So, yeah, I don't know. I just love it. And then this, where he leans down and is like literally just gently kissing his scars. The dream. I just love them. And I love it when Harry is like helpless, but just call him by his preferred name. Like, he likes it when Harry calls him Tom, because he knows that there's no difference in Harry's mind. Tom is Voldemort, Voldemort is Tom. He's not calling him Tom because it's reductive. He's calling him that because that's who he is. He is both Tom and Voldemort at the same time, which, again, we kind of had similar conversations where he doesn't view his own faces differently because he sees himself in both ways. He is both of those things. All of those things encompass the one entity that is him. Oh, hold on, guys. I gotta take a phone call. Give me just a second. Okay. Jesus, that was like a 40-minute. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it was like a 30-40-minute phone call. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm back. My voice is now even more shot than it was because I was on the phone with my parents for 40 minutes, and I love them and they're helping me. But I really would like to get back to this so that we can finish. Okay. I have no idea what's been going on in the chat. I've been trying to keep up, but like, other than the momentary defense of favorite commenters and stuff. Aww, a Pat Toast emoji. I love that. Alright, let's get through talking about this and then a little bit about future chapter. And then I guess I gotta bounce because I need to make lunch and drink some soup because my throat's starting to hurt a lot. No, you missed a good like hour long of conversation, and then my mom called and I spent 40 minutes on the phone. So worst live stream ever. Really gotta just ignore phone calls from now on. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about names and stuff, and I saw some nicknames versus personal names and all of that in the chat. That was, yeah. Ugh, now I just feel bad because I have to like leave soon. Okay. Anyway, there's all this cute softness at the end of this chapter, and then there's this one. The very first, my Dark Lord. Now you can pat me. Yes, I am being patted. Thank you, Evan. But yeah, so this line was like a genuine last minute kind of, not last minute. I debated it. I was like, Harry wouldn't talk like this. This is such a Yoda line. But I couldn't help it. Like I had to bring in the passive voice here for the My Dark Lord. And yes, it is the first time he calls him that. So I'll probably pull that up again eventually. And then I just love how delighted Voldemort is with it. Like he's like, oh, you're claiming me, huh? Didn't you not want to claim me? But of course, yeah, Voldemort is his. And then I love this kind of like succinct, boiled down, my enemy, my responsibility, my duty, my Dark Lord. Yeah, like that's always been the case. Even before they began to develop romantic feelings for one another or any kind of kind feelings towards one another, Voldemort has always been Harry's Dark Lord. So and then I loved bringing back this line. I like to collect dangerous things. And then I just love this, like Voldemort's like, all right, cool. I'll be the most dangerous thing in your collection. I wouldn't say the norm, but it definitely appears more than once. We got an emote out of it. If anyone gets mad, I can beat them up. Thank you, Evan. Yes, it is progression, and there's going to be some more leading up to, hopefully in the next chapter. I'll show you that in a second. And I just love this slow little moment of them just in there in the dark, holding each other, and yeah, it's just good stuff. I like them. I love them. They're good. I have to see the Pat Toast emoji. I love the Pat Toast emoji, Evan. Aww. I'm making big eyes at it right now in the Discord. Or at least in our chat. Pat Toast. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, it's a fun little chapter. I'm very excited about it. It's soft and nice. Yeah, he is very like but like if he belonged to anyone, it would be Harry Potter. It would be like death cannot hold him, but the master of death can. So yeah, I just like that. And it says that there's 300 comments. That's not true. It's just because I actually spent last night responding to all these comments. Oh, this is a great commenter too. I don't know who this is, but I love you. I'm very bad at usernames, so if I talk to you frequently, I'm sorry. You're wonderful. But yeah, I spent like a bunch of time last night actually responding to messages, so cut that number in half. It's like maybe 150 or something. Still doing pretty good. Got some good bookmarks. Woohoo. We're at half the length of War and Peace currently, which love that. Now let's switch over to dmay. So little hinty hints here. So this is the end of the last chapter. You guys get a little sneaky peek on my plans. No guarantees that I'll stick with them as per usual, because I'm very bad at sticking with things. But I had talked briefly in the dmay server about Wolfbat Star and that being like the opener of like Severus showing up with like the French newspapers, like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? And then, them having breakfast and like chilling out and having kind of like a little mini date while they complain about Voldemort and Harry's relationship. So I'm number what? Yeah, I've been number 8 for a while. I'm happy to be number 8. It'll be a long time before I climb above that, because the ones above me have like so many comments. Anyway, it's going to start off in Harry's point of view, and I'm going to kind of like take some time to actually describe the stolen townhouse apartment thing. And then they'll have some breakfast, and then we'll actually have a little bit of a little dash of angst. And then I've had this plan for a bathtub scene for a very long time due to a very specific song. Do I want to pull it up? Will it mess me up here? Hold on. It is I Put a Spell on You, Alice Smith. This cover. And I would play it for you guys, but I would get instantly dinged for using copyrighted music. So if you want to listen to a song that I intend to have inspire a very nice little scene, this is the one. It's very good. But yeah, and then a little cuddle and shop talk. We're gonna get the puzzle box. They're gonna crack open the Book of the Living. I think it's the Book of the Living. And then yeah, and it's interlude 2. So we're at interlude number 2. But yeah, that's the plan. Our son is at it again. Yes, that is very true, Kiki. Yeah, another chapter to mess up the chapter, another interlude to mess up the chapter numbering. That's exactly it. But yeah, lots of good stuff to come still, obviously. Still need to go on a scavenger hunt for all of the pieces of the spell that they need for the ritual that Harry wants to do. Lots more exploring and things like that for that. See, this is how I know that I'm too tired. I've been drained. I have like too many things going on in my head about real life now, thanks to that conversation with my parents. So, before I go, I would like to, no, I shall not scroll. But yeah, other than the Jaguar XKSS, that's down there. You could if you wanted to. That's totally fine. I hope the ritual is very painful. Why do you hope the ritual is very painful? Yeah, that's fair. That is very, very true. Yeah, no, there's going to be some pain on his end. I thought you meant on Harry's end. I was like, why do you want it to be painful for Harry? And not to mention, Harry's doing the scavenger hunt, but it's not as if Voldemort's actually going to let him go off on his own and do it by himself. So he's actually going to be part of the gathering of these items, which is actually secretly kind of crucial to, you know, it functioning properly. He has to be willing to do it himself, and by the time they get to that, my hope is that he'll be in that space where he's like, I'm gonna do this for this person that I adore. Also, there's like a little thing that I have been planning for forever, where it kind of makes it level out, where it makes sense that even though he still wants to be immortal, he no longer necessarily has to have Horcruxes to do so. So the good pain. Yes. Yeah, he will eventually kind of get to that point of like, I'm down to clown with this. And not just because he has another out, but because he wants what Harry wants. I don't know, compromise and love and all of that. I'm so sad that that phone call took, like, it was a good phone call. It was nice to catch up and all of that and like talk about what needs to get done. But now I'm just stressed about what needs to get done and sick. So I am probably going to call this quits. It's been very, very fun talking to you guys and watching you guys chat while I'm like, yes, on the phone. Yeah, just thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you all. You're just wonderful. You delight me. Honestly, this little community we've built around this stupid little story is so nice, and it's the only thing that keeps me going sometimes. So that's nice. It's like I'm like, well, I can't leave dmay unfinished. I have so many people who need to see it finished. So on the darkest of days, I'm just like, all right, I gotta push through to tomorrow so that you can write a little bit more for your stupid little fan fiction. Mwah! I am smooching you, Kiki. You are welcome for the food. I give you all of the food. Trying to remember what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, I'm probably gonna just go watch some spooky stuff. I've been watching a lot of ARGs, Greylock, if you are into, not ARGs, I'm sorry. Although I have been watching those, there's been a couple of those too. But no, there's a word for it. It's not digital horror. You guys know what I'm talking about, the VHS style shit that everybody loves. Greylock, very good series, very spooky, heavy on the body horror. You've heard me talk about The Oldest View before. If you want something that's more just suspense and dread, just check them out. Man, I wish I could write horror the way that these guys do horror. Unfinished dmay is my sleep paralysis demon. It is also my sleep paralysis demon. I love you too, Ashley. I love you, Jenny. Analog, thank you. See what I mean? I need to go. My brain is starting to shut off. Need to go heat up some soup so that my throat can get a little bit more rest, and then, yeah. But yeah, again, I just really appreciate you guys. You're wonderful. You make the days a little bit brighter when I'm all people suck. So I send you all smooches on the forehead with tongue. Hopefully I'll have another stream. I don't think I'll get another one in this month because literally I'll be like packing out next weekend, and I'll have like Saturday a little bit to myself for brunch with somebody, and then and then after that I will literally just be moving out of my house and moving across country. So smooches for you all. Thank you. Have a good day or night or morning, whatever time it is for you guys. You're wonderful. Yeah. To a stranger. Out.